DRX destroyed Loud, and all it took was this one smoke. This Korean powerhouse kicked off champs with some brand spanking new Viper tech that single-handedly won them this map. But I don't get it. How can a bunch of weird looking smokes give reigning world champions this much trouble? Can VIPER, a defensive minded controller, really carry an attack half this hard? Well, despite being nerfed time and time again, it turns out that VIPER is still the queen of Valorant. Loud have almost the entire map covered in traps. They're starting in a 3-2 spread. Breach has his fault line primed and ready to either start off his teammates' contact in male or his Killjoy spots on A. But there's one gap in their defense, B, and that's exactly where DRX are headed. They have 5 members grouped up and are pounding it into B on pistol round. Normally, teams shy away from this part of the map as the choke point is really narrow and one nade, stun, gravity well, or nano can decimate an entire execute, especially since they're only running one duelist. But DRX aren't like other teams. Usually when we see VIPER on split, she has her toxic screen and poison orb set up to deny vision from A main, ramp, and then heaven. This makes it pretty hard to hold these parts of the map as the defense consistently has to get information whenever these smokes go up. You can get that info with constant cycling of recon abilities, you can push past the smokes, or have sentinel utility that holds you map control. But DRX have their smoke set up differently. Their wall works similarly to the wall orb combo I just showed you, and it's also going to create question marks that someone could have crossed over every time it goes up. This is similar to Cypher's cages that teams constantly throw to deny both sightlines. Only with this setup, it's harder for them to take heaven. But VIPER still has her orb in her pocket, and it's about to cause big problems for Loud. DRX open the round with a Sky Flash for B main, and Zest lobs his orb. The bird doesn't tag anyone, but the defense are worried about the wall on A. You see the pings coming in, preparing Breach to stun that line, but the attackers aren't there. They're filing into B main, and here's where we see this problematic smoke in action. What it does is deny vision from anyone peeking into main from sight, makes it awkward for any defenders trying to retreat from here if they fight in front of it, and it also gives the attackers another avenue to leak out from. Meaning, if you want to hold this smoke reliably, you need to commit one person here, and then on A you need one ramp and one main. Granted, sure, there's some bots that can help you out with this, but do you see how difficult it is to have to deal with all these potential question marks? But wait, trust me, it gets worse. DRX huddle into their smoke. Skyflash, Boombot, Paranoia, and the site is theirs. Now Loud are like, okay fine, we'll just retake B. And since they haven't used any utility this round, that sounds like a good plan, right? All of Loud group up into spawn for an explosive retake, and the utility we just mentioned goes flying. Skydog, Fault Line, Paint Shells, Aftershock, but none of this does anything. Remember that smoke? Well, VIPER has picked up her poison orb and redeployed it in such a way that Loud cannot push through this lane.
How much more can they hold? They've at least navigated away that first layer of the util put in to facilitate this push back through. They're clearing through the site now, but they have not cleared the back of the site. Zet's still going to get away with daylight robbery. Buzz is there as well, but the trade's going to be coming back and forth. Tui's still standing. Buzz, how is he evading this? How is he still alive?
Loud's retake was broken apart, but they've managed to turn this into a 2 versus 2. Mako's flank got spotted earlier, so are Loud expecting a second?
Tui's in a 2v2 against Marco and Stacks, but look at the time. You can hear it ticking. Cowanzine, he does no more. He can do no more. The time has run away. They made it competitive, but it just wasn't close enough.
DRX stalled for just long enough. DRX are starting their anti-eco in a 3-1-1 setup. Each player is playing passive and are ready to hold back and react to a potential push. Now Loud are positioned in a 2-3 setup, where they're going to punish the player holding A and then try to stall on B. But it's going to be pretty hard to stall when DRX are giving themselves multiple avenues to push out from. The attackers open up again with the same default, a Sky Flash. It tags Astra, and it forces her to back off. VIPER smoke falls out of the sky, and it blooms. Now, here's the problem. Loud doesn't have great weapons, and this turret won't be enough to help out her side anchor. So Killjoy has no choice but to concede mid, let her turret just watch it and come over to try and help Astra. Now, give up mid on a map where it is the most important thing ever? That's an issue. But Astra's telling her team that she's seeing identical utility to last round, meaning that A is probably weak. So her teammates decide to scale up A main and clear out these question marks this wall has been making. But they hear Killjoy's turret. someone's here. Killjoy dodges the stun, and her turret gets broken. Now, she saw a sky flash, breach stun, and odds are they got the raise here with their initiators. So she's telling her team, they pushed A! Her teammates then give up mid, and hurry up their B take. Smokes go in, Trailblazer, Paranoia, but this time, their smoke is down. When you're playing against a low buy, you don't want smokes that close the distance between you and the defense. Since they have close range weapons, they're going to use these smokes against you and then punish. So against an eco, push your smokes farther back. But Astra's placed a mid-sight smoke to scramble this execute, but it does nothing. Raze wraps around Pillar while her teammates push through the smoke. Astra gets one, but gets traded. DRX now have an open sight and get the plant off. Loud's 3 remaining players group up to try and attempt to retake, but against these smokes, especially Vipers, that isn't going to happen.
Just a formality to clean up now, just Sadak left standing. Only going to be Buzz, I believe, as the casualty. Sadak can find something on the exit here, no. Tagged up, forced away. And a 6-round deficit for Loud to try and recover.
DRX are changing things up, but not their smokes. They're in a 1-3-1 default and are taking mid control after conditioning Loud with this B main default. And the conditioning has worked. Loud are positioned in a 2-1-2 hold trying to deny B main control, but the offense don't want it. As a matter of fact, they're applying pressure everywhere except for B main.
I don't want to play with you anymore.
The attackers open the round with a smoke for mail, and they flash in events. They have mid control, and if you look closely, Killjoy is also lining up a molly like so to break this ramp alarm bot. And it hits! Breach is forced to give up his anchor setup and now has to worry about ramps. Every time this wall goes up, there's a chance the attackers have crossed and find themselves a timing into heaven. I mean, if you're Loud, at least you have B main. DRX still threw their same smoke, but the defense are denying its value by pushing in front of it. But this is exactly what DRX want. By committing 2 players and 2 stars to be main, just look at how empty mid has become. The offense can't see it, but they've bamboozled the defense into giving up mid totally for free. This is the last thing you want to do on this map. But Raze then calls to her Astra to swap spots because she still has her paint shells. If the offense go mid, she can at least try and slow him down. Buzz peeks his way into heaven and spots Aspas. They exchange a few shots, but Mako smokes heaven for even more added pressure. Loud have completely lost heaven, and Cowanson uses his dog to flush out B. It spots Viper, but she pops the snakebite to deter the defense from pushing any further. Now with total mid dominance, thanks to this smoke DRX conditioned earlier, the attackers can do whatever they want. So Skye creeps her way through vents, and she feels like no one is watching with all the pressure they've made across the map. She peeks out to sight, breaks the turret, and DRX get ready to take. They smoke for spawn and send out a flash to sight. But it's all a ruse. The attackers are sprinting back to B, and it has Loud fooled. This is why losing mid is so bad on Split. With it, the offense can do whatever they want. Fake A, then go B, come back to A, subscribe to Teets, and the defense is left with their head spinning. But Loud finally know what's going on, so these 2 players fully commit to B main. And DRX don't feel like they have the resources to pinch that space with their Killjoy still in market. When hitting B, you usually want to have main so that when your teammates hit sight, they aren't getting pinched from so many different angles during the post plant. But here, that just isn't possible. So they resort to their backup plan. Go take spawn. Buzz plants for heaven, and his 2 teammates start their push into spawn. But Sadak was expecting this push, and stuns the lane.
Well, push even deeper. Zest punished though.
DRX can't take this map control, but with all of mid, they don't really need it that bad, I guess. Raze finds a timing to push back sight and form a better crossfire with her teammate. But before the retake even starts, Breach feels like he can re-clear heaven. So he goes upstairs.
He can't make through CT on his own.
He takes down Mako, but before he died, he threw a smoke for his spawn teammates to rat around in. Well, that didn't work. But now is Breach expecting a second mid player after retaking heaven?
And he's looking pretty deadly. Towards the back of the site, though, he's got to deliver on a massive amount. Going to take another with him, but now it's just RB in a 1v2. A tap on the spike and his commitment. It's going to be him trying to stick towards us. Less! He's done the damage! He got it to halfway, and he's kept Loud alive.
DRX start in another 3-1-1 default and are going to abuse this poison orb again. And Loud did not have fun without mid control last round, so they've given up fighting for B main in their 1-2-2 setup. Whoo boy, the offense has these guys on a string. They open the round with a Sky Flash for B main. VIPER gets off her same smoke, and Killjoy nanos A main to deny any push-up. The round just started, and the defense are already starved for information. Cowanzin sends out a guiding light, and it goes, caca! Someone's in B main, but at the same time, Mako has smoked off Mail, emulating the same vents take as last round. So, what do Loud do? Do they fight mid? Or do they help out on B? While Loud are figuring things out, DRX explode out of their smoke. Guiding light, Rage pops her showstopper, and the defense are in no position to contest and have to play retake. But that won't be easy as VIPER picks up her orb on the way in and repositions it to clog up this whole lane again. Loud eventually groups up, and Cowanzin kicks off the retake with a Skydog, Breach Aftershocks Pillar, but DRX immediately respond by activating their smokes. All of this utility they're dumping is being wasted. Time is running low, and Loud make a last-ditch attempt by smoking Pillar and barreling through the green mist.
Loud, they can't quite close the gap. It's messy, but it works for Marco. Stacks and Marco in unison, and they still haven't dealt with RB. He falls, but it's irrelevant, as Les would have to just go and clear everyone in
The mid lurk gets snuffed out, but they can't clear out the rest of sight. Those smokes were just too much. And if they don't hurry soon, the spike is going to blow.
Split second at this point. How much can one man do?
Hang on.
Simply put, not enough time.
Yeah, not enough time. Stacks does fall, but Zest and Marco able to slip away.
Loud take a timeout to try and figure out this poison orb. Yeah, just set it right there. Yeah, put it down right there. Thank you. Who are you talking to? Oh, I asked a staff member for a fan. Maybe it can blow the smoke out of here. It's really annoying. This isn't helping! Loud have had enough of this big fart cloud and are fixed on flushing it out in a 2-1-2 setup. Raze and Sky are fighting hard for this space before falling back and swapping places with their Astra so she can spot it and so that they can contest mid next. Both of which are areas that DRX have been abusing this whole half, which is why they are ending towards A this time. But their plan is to 1. Play it passive. 2. Make it seem like every other round Loud has seen so far. And then 3. End A and hit it hard. The defenders open the round by immediately taking B main, and Aspes wants DRX to know that this space is his. So he walks forward, jiggle peeks, and him and Zest spot each other.
Hello there.
Wait a second. Did Zest hold on to his orb this round? Yeah, he didn't throw it knowing that Loud were going to adapt to the smoke he's been throwing, and now he can use it for whatever he wants. Now Stacks comes over to help fend off a push, but Loud have already backed off. They know that they've marked their territory and are swapping places with their Astra. But now DRX are moving into stage 2 of their plan. Fake their default. Mako smokes Mail again, Buzz rips his Roomba, and Sky flashes into B main. These are all things Loud have seen in previous rounds. But they aren't fooled. Cowanzin flashes mid, and it doesn't spot anything. And then Tui's doesn't spot anything either. Weird. They skydog out to clear the area, and stage 3 of DRX's game plan is starting to become a lot more clear. They're hitting A hard. Aspes realizes this and rotates out of heaven to try and stack with his Killjoy and Breach, but it's already too late. DRX are already here and are starting their execute. Trailblazer, Pain Shells, Nanoswarm, and hey, there's that Poison Orb. Aspes cannot make his way onto sight, and his teammate's stun molly combo didn't work. DRX still got out, and now they are screwed.
He'll be denied here. Buzz has got ahead of it.
Yeah, Buzz is so far ahead, they have no idea of it.
Loud side anchors are down, and their other players are across the map. The only saving grace this round is that Aspes has Heaven, and DRX might not expect Loud to make this stupid long flank, and by the looks of it actually, she might be able to shoot them in the back.
Yes, Cowanzin has the rifle, but finding the first, but you're going to be able to clear this corner? Maybe, considers it, looks towards Zest, finds it, oh!
Cowanzin has gotten 2, and sends out his Seekers. Loud are back in the round.
Cowanzin going to try and lead this one through. Marco was blinded for a second, TP's away. Got to get out of danger, now there's problems. Evacuate the site, Tui's connects, Marco goes down, and now it's just RB! He's fallen! How on earth did Loud turn this one around?
Now, the game isn't close, but Loud have been doing enough damage through these rounds to DRX's economy to force them onto a half buy. This round should be a layup.
Steal by the Pistons, Knights all alone. Oh, he missed it!
And they're sticking to their same game plan. Fight for B main and play past this Poison Orb. Then let Astra spot the area while these two go back and contest mid. And these guys are still confident in their A-hold despite losing it last round. Now, DRX, they don't really have a lot to work with. They only have 2 rifles, so they're going to try and let these 2 cook in mid and have their pistols hold the wings for them. The round starts with both teams trading flashes in B. RB nanos close, and Mako smokes ramp to apply pressure. But Loud rip a fault line immediately. Now DRX don't have the tools to contest either main, so Stax and RB both back off. But by knowing Loud are contesting the space, the offense feels more confident to contact up mid. Now Loud knows something's up. The map's been quiet so far, so Tui's places a Mail Star and Mako responds with another Heaven smoke. But Aspas and Cowanson are committed to their plan and are going to contest Heaven.
Towards Heaven, shoulder to shoulder. And they're very close by. Aspas can remove one. That's a rifle dropped out of Buzz.
DRX have been pushed out of Heaven, but it's so much worse than that. They've also lost one of their 2 only Vandals. I mean, what do they do next? To try to make a play for the rifle? Or group up and attempt and execute? Well, kind of both. Their backup plan is to split B, but not before Killjoy tries to sell a 1-person fake on A by flying into all of this Killjoy utility. So Stax leaves mid and makes his way over back to B, while Killjoy slowly makes her way up behind her turret that hasn't spotted anything yet. Mako sends over a Heaven smoke, but Loud aren't convinced. They're flashing up B to expose the fake.
It'd be huge if they can retrieve that.
Oh dear. Ugh. Too easy.
Nearly.
Got a little nervy on that.
2 big pieces of DRX's plan have fallen, but they've popped their smoke and have taken this timing to push onto site. Mako paranoias the orb in case Sky crossed, then places a smoke to plant in while Zest goes to make a play. Loud didn't expect Zest to cross, and he got 2, and Mako traded off his Viper.
Zest gets a second lease alive. Hold on. Wait, this is Marco in a 1v2. It ain't over yet. Trying to bait it out just a little. He's got his TP and another one in pocket as well. Going to get closer towards this. Smoke just goes up. They have no idea where he currently resides. Do they consider the smoke? They certainly do.
No way.
They still go. Marco!
Mako played this clutch perfectly. By fake teleporting like this, he created a bunch of question marks that the defense had to consider. He also heard the aftershock and knew Killjoy was Heaven too. So by moving to new box and placing a smoke in just the right spot to give himself cover in, he was able to create enough chaos, isolate his fights, and Loud had no idea where Mako could have gone. DRX need one more round to take the map and are back in their 3-1-1 default and are taking B main again with this smoke. Now Loud don't have a lot of money. They have no choice but to force into this round and have dragged their breach over to vents. The offense hasn't really pressured ramp or A really besides one round, so they're gambling and leaving that the weaker site. Both teams open the round by trading smokes, one for male, one for B main. And Killjoy lobs another nano and destroys part of Less's setup. I'm telling you, you Killjoy players need to start using your mollies to break utility. It's stupid strong. But before DRX got smoked out, they saw and were pinging the second star. Plus, with that flash that just flew by, the offense doesn't feel comfortable fighting for this space and elect to wait it out. They have the better loadouts, there's no need to rush into things. Now, Astra doesn't see anyone, and with this mail smoke, DRX could be walking up mid, but now Breach doesn't spot anybody either. He gives up vents and heads back to Killjoy suspecting an A hit. But Astra has just spotted Stax and Zest. She can't hold her own with just a sheriff, so she gives up the space and DRX pops her smoke. Aspas and Cowanson give up mid, knowing what's coming next. But instead of trying to fight the execute, Loud are coming to them.
Map 3 on the horizon. Surely we get that gift and maybe we get
drifted into this.
Here, they're all on the other side. The flash goes in. Buzz comes out on top, at least with the first. The trade comes out for...
Both teams back off. DRX rip their Seekers, but Aspas cancels them out with his nade. But Tui's is still stuck. With the dog coming right at him, he cosmic divides and saves his own bacon. But while all that fighting was going down, Killjoy has found a timing up mid, and this giant purple wall is the perfect thing DRX needed to rotate out. Defenders can't hear anything past it, so DRX make all the noise they want. So they sprint out of B main, through market, and Killjoy has gotten all the way through vents and is now in heaven. She's made it past Breach and his judge without him knowing. RB peek spawn to try and catch a rotator, but he whiffs, but he has the sight. He alarm bot spawn, and he's calling his teammates over. Omen ults and is bringing the spike with him.
The DP's come over, plants come in, and now there's...
This is swinging onto it!
He can't get the plan off, and Breach has ulted sight, but they don't know where that stupid Killjoy's at. But Sky and Viper are lurking now, and have backstabbed Sadak, and RB is wrapping sight, pushes through the grav well, and just barely grabs the spike. Les trades Zest, and now RB is all on his own, but are Loud expecting a second lurk? RB activates his lockdown to buy Stax some time.
Surely you don't drop it again, but look at Stax's position.
Oh my god!
Oh! Oh, it's unbelievable! Stacks behind them. They had no idea. And forced in the grave as just Tui's the last one alive. An absolute masterclass from DRX here, but they want to seal it now. The crowd is calling for it. Tui's got to get past the turret, but now he's got 2 more players to find, and the time is ticking. You can hear it faster and faster now. Map 3 is calling Tui. He's desperate to connect, but he ain't gonna have it. RB seals it. We're going the distance.
DRX absolutely dominated this attack half against Loud. They tried to counter these weird smokes, but in the end, it was just too much for them to handle. As a matter of fact, a lot of teams have been abusing these double smoke comps, similarly to how DRX have. And it looks stupid strong. Even more so in this video here on Ascent.